Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome. My name is Adam Joseph, and I am the VP of Customer Success here at Bambuser. And I'm delighted to welcome you to what is our very first webinar led by my customer success team and designed to help you, our customers, get the very most out of using our solutions. Now, today's session is going to focus very much on data and analytics and explore new and innovative ways you can take the insights from our solutions to help drive your e-commerce strategies of the future. Now, I appreciate today is going to cover a great deal. And if you have any questions around how you can technically implement anything you're going to see, or indeed anything to help you get the most out of using Bambuser from a technical perspective, we're also launching a number of office hour sessions that are going to go hand in glove with these webinars. So one to inspire and the second to technically implement. And look out for a QR code that will help you register for the session, which is due to take place in 1 week's time on August the 28th, exactly the same time as now. But for now, I'm going to hand over to my esteemed colleagues, Rose and Osama, to lead today's session, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for now.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Adam, for the kind introduction. My name is Rose. I'm a senior CSM at Bambuser, and it is a great pleasure for me to be your host today. I didn't come alone. Osama is with me. Hi, Osama.
Hey everyone, I'm a data analyst here at Bambuser. I'm one of those behind the insights that we provide for you in your dashboards. I'm also one of those working on providing more insights from your purchase data that we will get from the new conversion tracking script. And more information about that later, so stay tuned.
Yes, do stay tuned because this is actually a very exciting update. So Osama will tell you more about this later. In the chat today, we have Lucy and Steve looking at your comments. So please do feel free to put your comment in the chat anytime. They will answer your questions either directly or save them for us to answer later in the Q&A session. All right, so let's get started. So why data? We know it is something that is very, very important to all of you. And we just wanted to start by sharing a couple of statistics that really demonstrate that. So the first one is that businesses that leverage data analytics are 23 times more likely to acquire customers, and they're 6 times more likely to retain them. So that's huge. The second statistic we wanted to share was that understanding campaign performance will allow you to better allocate your budget and optimize it, and can lead to up to 20% improved marketing ROI. So this is really massive. And we know that most of you are already using data analytics and looking at your performance across different experiences on your website. And you should definitely do the same when it comes to your video commerce activities. So this is why we've been working very, very hard in the past few months and even years. We know this is a feedback that you've shared with us all along, and that you wanted richer data, that you wanted more actionable insights as well. So we've done that, and hopefully we've delivered. You might have seen in the last few months that we started gradually adding more metrics to your dashboards, making it look a bit more seamless in terms of user experience. So today we're going to bring it all together and show you what you can get out of the BAM Hub. And hopefully this will inspire you to demonstrate how much value your video commerce activities are bringing to your business. Okay, so before I forget, this is going to be mainly focused on the insights that are available on our live product. So for those of you who are using live shopping, but we know that some of you are also using our other products, so video calls and shoppable video. We're not going to cover these today, but do stay tuned and look out for more metrics and enhancements for this product as well. All right. So what I'm going to do now is start sharing my screen. So hopefully you can see that now. We are on the BAM Hub. Most of you are very familiar with this view. I'm using here the one-to-many demo dashboard or BAM Hub that we have at Bambuser. This is connected to our demo website. So some of the data here might look very different to what you have on your BAM hub, because this is not a real ecom environment. But what I'm going to do is go over the new metrics just on this page, and then I'll move on to a real life example to illustrate a little bit more. Okay, so first of all, you will find your insights here under statistics. So this hasn't really changed, but you will see that we now have 3 different tabs where you can access different metrics. The first one being the summary, which will give you a very good overview of how you have been performing. First, at the very top, one key thing we've been working on is offering you a seamless experience when it comes to extracting the data. And you can see that we've added more filters. The first one being shows, where you can select one or several shows, or just like look at all your shows in general. Then you will be able to select your video state, so whether you want to analyze live versus replay, for example, and then your date range. So we've got these preset filters here, but you can also manually choose which date range you want. Let's pick the last 6 months here. And personally, one little tool that we've added that I'm using all the time, and it's made my life so much easier, when I'm chatting to my clients, comparing their performance, let's say in the last quarter versus the previous one, is this filter here. So you can choose between no comparison, previous period, or previous year. So here, for example, if I want to compare the last 6 months with the 6 months prior to that, so I will choose the previous period here. Okay, and now you can see all the metrics are updating. So a lot of these metrics you're already familiar with, but I'll just go over a few that are very important on this page. And you can see the first one that appears is actually active shows. So active shows, hopefully you can see a green number on your dashboard here if you're looking or using the comparison tool, and hopefully something a bit higher than 0%. But this is a great indicator of how easy to access your videos are, how discoverable they are as well. So you're producing videos on a regular basis, and you want to make sure that the old videos are still performing together with the new ones. So this is what this shows. One new metric that we have here is engagement rate. And this is actually a blend of the previous chat rate that we used to have and like rates as well. But in addition, we also added product clicks and other interactions. So this is a great one to check on a regular basis to see how engaged your audience is. Then you've got average viewing time. And here you can see this is not working, but you've got your orders. So we'll look at orders in that last tab. Before I continue, Osama, can you maybe just give us a little reminder of what impressions are versus views? Because this has changed a little bit in the last few months.
Yeah, happy to. So previously, a while back, we considered a view when someone opens a player, but we've made a distinction between impression and views, so that we would call that an impression when just a player opens, regardless of how long they runs for. But a view is something that would like more meaningful. So we're saying that a view is when a person has opened a player that's been running for at least 3 seconds. So the views, it's it's almost always lower than the number of impressions.
Exactly.
And one thing maybe to add is that, so if you do compare to maybe some legacy like reports or so on, you may find that the numbers are different, and this is why.
Mm-hmm. Exactly what I was going to say as well, Osama, is that if you compare your old reports with the new ones, you might see quite a big difference, whether it's, like a positive difference or a negative one. But it's just because all of the metrics we collect now are based on more qualified or higher quality session, should I say, rather than just simple clicks on the player. So this is why we differentiate the two, but you can see we are showing here a viewers ratio that will show you the conversion from impression to views. And this is really important because that really indicates that your content is engaging from the very beginning. Let's scroll down a little bit more. We've got our product clicks ratio. So that's the number of views that result in a product click. So really, really important as well. You can see here on our Bambuser website, everything is green, so we're good. And then we have the add to cart ratio. Sometimes if you see an error message like this one, just refresh the page and the number will show. I just want to point out here, some of you might see that this metric here is showing 0, whether it's number of add to carts or add to cart ratio. And this might be, or this is definitely because you're not using the full cart integration, which is absolutely fine. We've got different kinds of integrations. Some of you are using the mini player and others are using full cart. But if this is an important metric for you to measure, definitely reach out to your CSMs and they will be able to help with any questions when it comes to full cart integration. Okay, let's move on. Just one last thing here that I want to show you is the views by video age. So again, we talked about this one, active shows, at the very beginning. This is closely related to that, and it shows you the number of views based on your video age. So whether your videos are very recent, a little bit older, or older than 30 days. And this is kind of what you want to see on your dashboard as a trend. So you want to see that your past content that you've hosted before, maybe even last year or 2 years ago, even 3 years ago, if you have evergreen content on your website, you want to see that these videos are still converting. Basically showing you how long your video's lifespan is. All right, so let me just go back to a real client example here. I hope you can all see my screen. I know it's a little bit small, but hopefully you can. And you can see here, or you can't really see the filters I've used, but this is actually an example from one of our clients in the fashion industry. And we're comparing here Q2 2025 with Q1 2025. And you can see here already some of the trends are positive. So you can see the green arrow going up and some other trends are a bit more negative. So let's have a look at that. Active shows, we can see that that went up by 18% between Q2 and Q1. So from Q1 to Q2, sorry. Showing that this brand has really done a lot of efforts to make their live shows more easily accessible on the website. So that could be through maybe adding live shopping in the menu, or just adding across different touch points on the website, for example. Easier discovery. You can see the engagement is quite good. Engagement rate is quite good. The average viewing time has gone up slightly as well. This is great as well to indicate that the placement is right. So if you put the right video on the right page, people will definitely watch a little bit longer, regardless of the length of that video. Then here you can see your orders. And this is actually quite a big dip. So 47% fewer orders in Q2 compared to Q1. Let's park this for now. We'll get back to it in a minute. Impressions, these have gone up as well. So again, showing great visibility. Maybe some of you are familiar with the Fab. So that could be one of the tools that this brand is using to improve the clicks on the players. And then views have gone down slightly. You can see here, I don't know if you can read, but it's -1 compared to Q1. So not a massive drop, especially when you see the volumes here. So that's not a big difference. The viewers ratio here is quite positive. You might wonder, what's a good viewers ratio? So depending on the industry, that will look a little bit different, but your CSM can help with that. In the fashion industry for the last 12 months, it's around 63%. And this brand is at 75.6%, which is quite good. So again, showing that the content is engaging from the very start. So in terms of content creation, content sharing, we can see that this retailer here has no problems. The product clicks, still quite very high in terms of volume. It's gone down slightly. So this indicates how relevant or how interesting the products selected in your shows are. So again, that can really depend on seasonality as well. When you're in between seasons and you have a lot of shows showing winter clothes, but it's now the summer, maybe the number of clicks will go down. As well, in the summer in general, you might have noticed there's usually fewer views, less engagement in general. And it's just because people are away on holiday and they're not spending much time or as much time on their computer or their phone. Okay, and just to finish here, you can see the add to cart is quite high. So there's fewer product clicks, but among those who've clicked on a product, there's been more add to cart, so a higher interest in purchasing. So why is there this disconnect between add to carts and orders? We can see we're going quite far here, and there's definitely something happening. I want to say maybe something that's broken, but not necessarily. It could be due to different reasons. But this retailer here should be looking at possible friction points in the checkout process, maybe something to do with product availability or pricing. And I'm going to just mention an edge case here. If you have higher price point items or very large items, I'm thinking about you maybe who are brands in the home and garden industry. We know that people add to cart maybe to save their selection as a way to add to wish lists, so to say. But they usually end up going to store to check out the item and try it for themselves. And that's absolutely fine. But this is something definitely you should try to track as well, like the impact of your videos on the drive to store. So yeah, a little bit of a challenge and things to investigate. But this is a great way for you to look at the numbers and think about what can be done better here. I'll just finish with, you can see here the graph showing the sessions over time. You can see that this brand actually probably did something around June, because there was a huge peak in the numbers of the number of views and number of product clicks and add to carts as well. And I can tell you that this is something that is due to the integration and making sure that the videos were accessible on different pages on the website. So this is something that's reflected on here as well. All right. I'm going to go on with sharing my screen, but do keep your questions and comments coming. Let me go back to here and move on to engagement insights. Let's wait for it to load. All right, so on this tab, you'll find a bit more granular data compared to the summaries tab that we've just looked at. So some of the numbers, some of the metrics here are exactly the same. You'll notice, by the way, that the filter remains here, so this is great. This you might need to double check because sometimes it doesn't carry over, but this filter here remains the same. And then let's scroll down and have a look at a couple of metrics which are really, really interesting to look at. The first one is viewer retention rate. So this graph really shows how successful you are at getting your viewers to watch more than one videos. So we track the sessions over 30 days. So you can see here 100% of the views watched one video. So that is normal and expected. And then 39% of the viewers ended up watching a second video, almost 21% a third video, and so on. So this is what you want to see on this graph. You don't want to see ups and downs. This shows again that here on this occasion, this is us at Bambuser on our demo website. We're doing great at redirecting or getting people to watch these videos. So maybe this is due to a lot of videos across different touch points again, or even just like a very well built and easy to browse live shopping landing page. If you see that you have a trend that's a little bit different, that's where you can implement little tips, like maybe asking your hosts to invite the audience to look at the show library for more content and more inspiration. You can use action cards as well, for example, to inspire people to click and browse further on the website. And then I want to show you, like, these graphs are really, really cool, but this one I think is particularly interesting, and it shows you where your viewers are located, in which countries. So here you can see that for us at Bambuser, again, this is a test or demo website, but 52% of the viewers we don't know. We can't track where they are based, but we can see that 24% of them are based in Sweden. So if you have that kind of information on your dashboard, this is a way for you to understand who your viewers are. And this is maybe also a way for you to think about ways to interact or engage with that audience more. So that could be through producing localized content for the Swedish market or activating subtitles and translations. By the way, we have a new AI translation feature that has just come out. So check out the update section on your BAM Hub. But that could be also just making sure that the products that you highlight in all of your shows are also very easy to access and available on this market to make sure that they are able to convert into a sale in the end. Just one last thing on this page, you'll find your engagement metrics as per usual. So these are the same as before, but you can also see your top viewed shows per number of views and top viewed shows by hour. Again, showing you which shows are performing the best. So sometimes they're not necessarily the same, by the way. So a show can have a lot of clicks and a lot of views, but maybe people stay less time watching the content because they are less interested in it. So that could be something interesting to look at. But also for you guys who have a package based on views and viewed hours, this is where you can track your usage. All right. Let me move on to the last tab here. And Osama, before I forget, can you please just remind everyone again what counts as an influence sale on the Bambuser dashboard?
Yes, of course. So the influence
Yeah, right.
sales is the
Yes.
value
You
of
can
the
change
orders
that.
made
So by default,
the
actually,
viewers
we work
within
with
an
7 and
X amount
30
of
days
days
at
after
Bambuser, but we
the
know
view of the
that most
show.
of you have
And this is
different
depending on the
attribution
attribution window
windows.
that
So
you
if you
use. So
wanted
I think by
to
default it's
use like 3 days, for example, you
days.
just need to
But
change
you
that
can
here. So this is
change it
very
here to the
convenient.
right.
You can do it yourself through that tab here. On this tab, you'll see your influence sales, orders, AOV. I'm just going to move on to a real life example in a minute. But just wanted to show you. Okay, you can see here, I'm not seeing anything. So let me just give it a little refresh. And okay, this is what I wanted to show you. Days from view to purchase and sales by day of the week. I don't know if you've noticed these graphs before, but they're really interesting. So they will show you how long it takes for viewers to place an order after they've watched a video, and on what day of the week they are more likely to place that order. But so for this, I'm just going to show you a real example because we don't have much sales data on our demo BAM Hub. So let me just go here. Okay. Influence sales, let's say it's USD in terms of currency, and that we're comparing against, again, Q2 versus Q1. So we can see that that number went up, which is amazing. Number of orders went up as well, but we can see the AOV has gone down. Nothing dramatic, but it could be due to maybe a sales period or maybe discount codes that were offered in the shows or on the website in general. So this could be one of the reasons why the AOV goes down. But going back to the two graphs we were just talking about, so sales by day of the week and days from view to purchase. So here we can see that for this retailer, most of the sales happen on day 3, which is a Wednesday. And then on the other graph on the right, you can see that most of the sales are also placed on the first day. So not as soon as, but someone will watch a video and then place an order on the same day. So that's the 0 here, the 0 column. So this is great. This is what you want to see as much as possible because this is the closest indicator to a direct sale. You watch a video, you see a product that you like, and you buy it. So this is also great information to have to maybe plan some of your live shows. And this is a question we get often, when is a good time to go live? Which day of the week? What time, etc. So this can help you make that decision. So that retailer, for example, might be more inclined or more likely to host a show on a Wednesday or just before, just to make sure that they can maximize all these sales because they are placed very quickly after watching the content. Okay, let me go back once more to our dashboards. And that will be the last one before we move on to Osama's updates and the Q&A. So we're back on the BAM Hub. And the only thing I wanted to show you is here, the shows list. So now this is a view that a lot of you have been using in the past. You can see here at the top, we've got the legacy stats, which are still accessible, but they will be deprecated very, very soon. So as much as possible, try to use the new page. It looks a little bit different, but you'll see so many more metrics that will help you analyze your show performance. Let's click on this one, for example. And here, you'll find most of the metrics you have on the other tabs in Insights, but I'll just quickly go down to 2 tables that are quite interesting and new. And the first one is product performance in player. So you can now see which product in a show performs better. So for example, here we only had 2 products, but you can see the headphones definitely had way more clicks than the phone case. Let's assume you're a client or a brand in the fashion industry, and you have 10 products about a new collection, and you see that the 2 or 3 top products are denim products. What does that tell you, for example? It tells you that your audience and your clients right now, they're very interested in denim, and that is how you can use that information to plan your shows ahead again. So maybe your next show that you'll host next week or in 2 weeks' time will be about denim because that's what people are looking at. And you can also use that information to, share some inspirational videos on your social media, or even target through CRM, emails, etc. So a very powerful one to use, and we are also trying to bring that to the general insights so that you can analyze product performance not only at a show level, but also across a certain period of time. Okay, and I'm almost done here. Let me just go back to that one real quick. I just want to show you at the very bottom the feature engagement section where you can see how your viewers are interacting with the different engagement features that you might use in your shows. So here we're talking about action cards, polls, and games. So most of you are very familiar with polls because we've had it for a long time. This is showing 0 here, by the way, but let's imagine that we have a few numbers. And game is something that we've recently introduced. So this is a great place to maybe start looking at how these features, or like how the usage of this features is impacting the overall engagement rate of your shows. And I can share like 1 or 2 stats here from clients who've shared already great results with us. So one of them said that where they had a game, they started at the beginning of the show and then they let that game run until the end. They saw that the number of comments went up or was multiplied by 10 times, and the average viewing time by 5 times, which is huge. Another one of our clients said that their engagement rate overall was 40% against 20% for their industry. So again, just like performing way above the benchmark, just by using one of those features. Okay. Conscious of time, we want to start the Q&A very soon. So Osama, I'm just going to hand it over to you so that you can share a few updates about enhanced tracking scripts. So let me go back here. Here you go.
Yes. All right. So I think you've all been informed of a new conversion tracking script, and like a big reason why we're doing this is to enable you to see more about to see more the impact that Bambuser is having on for you. So, for example, like so we want to get more data about like what's happening at your like websites. So here, what we can provide with the new purchase tracking script are things like top performing like products and categories versus products are returned. We can show things like poor performance of discount rates and coupon codes. More things about we track like events like add to wish lists, and even something that's very exciting, direct sales. Like how do we see direct sales from like the products that you highlight in your shows? And but so once you've paired with your product catalog, we'll be able to provide this analysis. And so yeah, we highly encourage you to update your tracking script. We know that this means this is a shift in the code, right? And I'm aware that for many of you, you have code freezes towards the end of the year. So maybe this is something to think about. And I do want to show just the small shift in code that this is like implying.
Okay, let me move on to the next one. Sorry. And it is here.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of show what this means. So, on the left there, you had like the old purchasing data that we would get, right? So, for example, for an order, you would see just like the product IDs, but we can't really see any details about the products. We can't see any discounts, coupon codes, so what the products are, how they're linked with each other. So on the right, you have like a lot more information. And I think with getting more data from your purchases would be, and then linking it back to what your shows in Bambuser, would drive better decision making for you.
Yes. And I can tell from experience and feedback I've received from my clients, at least, that some of these new events we're tracking with the new scripts are really important, such as direct sales. It's been something that's been requested a lot in the past few years. So we're finally bringing this to you. And yeah, so just make sure that you use that you integrate that code before your code freeze this year, so that you can analyze all these great performance and metrics over Christmas time. Okay. Thanks, Osama, for this update. Just gonna have a look now at the questions in the chat and see if we can answer a few of those directly. So I can read them out. We have here a question from Christina. Could it be possible to leave the search window up when adding shows to see the stats? When I'm wanting to add multiple shows, it's challenging to find each show over and over again because it disappears so quickly. So maybe even giving a few more seconds so that the search stays active. That's a great question. So I'm guessing this is here related to the filter and that kind of seamless experience we're trying to give you when you're analyzing your data. And this is something that we will bring up with our product team to see if this is feasible. So make sure that you're able to select your shows in the filter in a easier way. And there's another question from Kelly. Is the viewer retention rate tracking the number of videos that a person is watching in one sitting or over the period of time selected in the filter? So that's a great question. And Osama, feel free to jump in here if I'm sharing something incorrect, but I think this is like over a 30 days period, right? Because this is how long our cookies are valid.
Yeah, we're not making a distinction whether like if someone's watching in just one sitting. This is for the entire period. So
Yeah,
not just
exactly.
in one sitting.
So this is if you accept the cookies, and they will track your behavior on that same device and browser over 30 days. So if you watch one video, 2, 3, 4, this is where we're able to track. After that time, we are no longer able to track, and this is where we'll not be able to see if they've watched more than that. Note for Osama. So we have another question from Kelly. Viewer retention tracks the number of videos. Oh, sorry, this is the same one. Sorry. There's another one from Eileen. With country, do you only show 3 countries max, or does other mean not tracked? No, we do not track more countries, but the UI only shows a few at a time. Yes, that's right. So do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so it's showing the 3 it's showing like the largest segments, 3, and then like the others it's grouping into another, the 4th one. So it's for visualization purpose, because if you have too many, it will look very ugly, the chart.
And is it possible, Osama, to get a list? Like if we go, if we can't display it in the dashboard directly, is it possible for us to get that list somehow from the data team?
Yeah, so the data is available. It's a question of like how and yeah, and if we should visualize it. Yes.
Got it. So Eileen, feel free to reach out to your CSM. We might be able to find what others mean in this case. So yes, because we know some of you are broadcasting one show across multiple markets, and it's definitely important that you see where your viewers are based, and not just like the main market share. All right. Any more questions, guys? I don't see any more, but do feel free to keep putting them in the chat if you have a last minute question. Otherwise, we're coming to the end of this webinar. So I think there's one in the main chat here that just came through. Okay, there's one from Caroline. If as a user I watch 3 videos and then place a purchase with a product shown in 2 videos, will my purchase be associated with the 2 videos? In another way, do we have duplicates and can't really add conversions from different shows? Okay, let me try to answer that question. So Caroline, this is, so if the If you watch several videos and then place a purchase after that, the purchase will be attributed to the last watched video. It doesn't matter if the product was in the 2 videos or only one of the videos, or maybe not even in any of the videos, but the sale will go and be associated with the last show that you've watched. So there won't be any duplicates, so don't worry about that. But one good thing with what Osama explained earlier is that with the new tracker, you'll be able to see more direct sales. So you can see if a product from a video was purchased after watching that specific video. That's something you'll be able to track very soon. Cool. I think we are good. All right, guys. It's gone so fast, honestly. It's been great. So just showing you all of these things. It's almost time to say goodbye, but we just wanted to share with you again the information about our Bambuser technical office hours that will start next week with one of our sales engineers. I believe this will be Ire. So this is a new format, as Adam explained in his welcome message. And this is a great way for you to get more hands-on technical guidance. So if you have more technical questions, how to, for example, we're talking about tracking, how to verify that the conversion tracker is working is one of them. Just bring these types of questions to the session. You can scan the QR code on your screen now, subscribe to the event, or share it with your team members, especially your technical team members, if they're interested, and we'll tackle any questions that they have. All right. Osama, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was great hosting this session with you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. The replay will be available soon. And yes, we'll see you next month for the next webinar. Stay tuned. We'll send more information via email. And yes, have a great rest of the week. And we'll see you soon. Take care.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.